Yes, guys, I hope you're well. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. So I said I'm going to put this video out about Martin Bakole following his fight with Joseph Parker last week. I'm going to be honest with you before I get started. I like Martin Bakole as a fighter. I should put that out there. I think he's a good fighter. I really do. I still put him up there in the heavyweight division as a really dangerous fighter. But what we saw this weekend, for a couple of reasons, I was really unimpressed. Really unimpressed. If you remember back to one of the videos I done last week, I wasn't really interested in the fight when I heard Martin Bakole was chosen. What I was impressed with the zeal and the determination of Riyadh season in Turkey to find an elite fighter within 48 hours notice to face Joseph Parker. But for the fight itself, it lost interest for me. It really did, because I knew what was going to happen. I was pretty much assured with everything how it kind of turned out, it wasn't going to be as interesting as people thought it would be. Now, before I start talking about that, let's talk about what happened in the build-up. So, roughly about 48 hours, 72 hours prior, Daniel Dubois pulled out of the fight with Joseph Parker. The reason for that is because he had a medical illness and he was unable to fight on Saturday. So Turkey and Riyadh season, they were scouring around, thinking about who could face Joseph Parker ultimately. And a few fighters came into the mix, the likes of Lawrence Bakole, Dillian White, David Adelaide, and there was talk about Moses Talma facing Joseph Parker. But quickly or shortly after, it was revealed that Martin Bakole will be facing Joseph Parker, or was to face Joseph Parker on Saturday. Now, Martin Bakole was in the Congo. He was on holiday, so he wasn't in training camp at the time, but he was in holiday, definitely enjoying himself by the picture that we saw that was on social media, if that is to be true. So initially I thought, okay, right, Martin Bakole's been chosen. There's going to be a private jet that's going to go over to the Congo, collect him, bring him back. That wasn't the case. Now, it transpired that apparently a private jet wasn't available. So Martin Bakole, through no fault of his own, had to travel from the Congo to Ethiopia, and then from Ethiopia to Saudi Arabia on a commercial flight. That would have taken a lot out of him. And that was another reason why I thought to myself, how on earth is Martin Bakole going to be fit, going to be ready? We talk about jet lag there. We talk about having to acclimatise to a different climate, etc., etc. in ultimately what would have been 24 hours. People were still talking about Bakole being the bogeyman of the division. This is going to be an entertaining fight. That was even more of a reason for me to think this is not going to be entertaining at all. And I started thinking even more, it's the wrong decision to have Bakole out there. Bakole should never have been chosen in that sense. And again, I go back to that photo that I saw. And again, if this is true, I thought to myself, this is not a good look for Bakole. He didn't look fight fit in that photo. It looks like a guy that hasn't been in training camp for a while. It looked like a guy that hasn't got a nutritionist. He wasn't watching his weight. He was enjoying all the good food in the Congo. At no point was he thinking about his weight and keeping his weight at a respectable weight in case he's called to fight, like what happened on Saturday. And the evidence showed on Saturday, early morning in Saudi, he weighed 310 pounds, apparently. And again, when he came into the ring as well, I kind of looked at him and with the t-shirt, and the moment he took the t-shirt off, and he's never been body beautiful, by the way, he came in and he just didn't look like he was ready at all. And I'm not saying he should have been fight fit. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying he just did not look fit. Like, if you saw that guy on the street, and I say this respectfully, if you saw the guy on the street, you wouldn't think that he was fit to fight 6 rounds, let alone 12. So I really started to question whether it was the right move for him in that sense. And obviously it wasn't the right move because Joseph Parker beat him in the second round, and it wasn't even entertaining in that sense. So that's one of the reasons why I thought, and the other reason I thought about it as well was just, I thought it was disappointing because this is a Martin Bakole that had a fight with Efe Ajagba, right? And it's still going to happen in May. And this was for the final eliminator for the IBF title. The winner would have faced Daniel Dubois. Now, if you know Martin Bakole's kind of recent history, he has been trying to face the elite fighters for a while. And it hasn't, it kind of feels like he's been blackballed in that sense. It's kind of been pushed out in the wind up until Rhea season. Now he has this opportunity, and he wasn't even ready. He wasn't even ready. Maybe he would have been, I assume he would have been ready for May, but he wasn't even ready. And he went in there to face Joseph Parker. And I just didn't think it just wasn't the right decision. Even for Billy Nelson to even put in the opportunity to, or put forward the opportunity to Martin Bakole. I really didn't think it wasn't the right thing to do. Lastly, let's just touch really quickly on Martin Bakole's weight. As I talked about previously, Martin Bakole needs to fix it up. He needs to fix it up real quick. If it means getting a nutritionist, if it means just being more mindful what he's eating out of camp, whether it means training more often or more regularly, especially when he doesn't have a fight coming up, he just needs to do that. If you look at, and I've just been looking at his record previously, Tony Yoka, 275. Jared Anderson, he came in at 284.5. The other day he came in at 310. That's just overweight. Like there's no, I'm not even gonna mince my words on it. It's just overweight. Kevin Johnson, 2019, 264. He faced a guy called Rodney Hernandez in 2019, 263. Sergei Kuzmin in 2020, 251. Granted, he's got a bit older, but that was just clearly overweight. Like, it was just overweight, and it didn't look good in him, honestly. I think whether it be a nutritionist, as I said, getting back into training, and just being mindful of what you eat, man. You can't just eat, and I'm not saying he's doing this, but you just can't eat anything. You need to be mindful. You need to be mindful. I think with Rhea season, we're starting to see you've just got to be ready, because the call can come anytime. And if the call comes at any time, you've got to be ready. Look at Josh Padley, right? 4 days notice, he was able to get down to the weight and face Shakur Stevenson. This could be a Josh Padley that decided to not take training seriously, or not take his nutrition seriously, I should say, when he's out of camp. He could have put on weight. But this is a guy that he made sure that he was ready in case a call came. He was mindful of his weight. He was mindful of his nutrition. And I think that's what Martin Bakole needs to do. But anyway, let me know your thoughts on everything I said. I know I've kind of gone from one place to another place in this video, but let me know all your thoughts below in the comments. And again, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And until next time, guys, peace.